Hey everybody, it's Mike with Omega Survival and Exploration, and this is my review of the Bark River Senegal. This one has the brown burlap micarta handles and a very high quality leather sheath, which I'll show you in a minute. This is roughly in the $300 price range, and you can find quite a few different variations of this at Knives Ship Free. I'll leave the link in the description box below. The overall length is 19.6 inches, the blade length is 14 inches, the blade thickness is 0.217 inches thick. The blade steel is A2 tool steel with a Rockwell hardness of 58. It's 27 ounces and made in the USA. Now, you can see how super high quality this sheath is. It's triple stitched, very thick. There's quite a few different points to lash stuff down on in them eyelet holes, and it pops open right here. You can weatherize these and waterproof them, mink oil. It'll also darken them if you like that look. And to show the knife really quick, it's a big boy, and I'll show you in a little while. The edge on this is actually very sharp for Bark River, and it throws really good sparks, as you can see. I actually already did all the field testing. I'm kind of shooting this backwards right now. That's why the knife looks like it's been through battle. I didn't clean it up, but stick with me, and I'm going to bring you out to the field, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the reasoning behind some of the designs of Bark River and different features of the knife. So I'm going to head out into the field. Stick with me, and you'll see this bad boy in actual use out in the field. What's up, everybody? It's Mike with Omega Survival and Exploration. I made it outside. Well, I just got done telling you the stats of this knife. It's more like a machete on steroids. But I want to take you all with me on the trail and do some really strict scientific testing on this and show you all how it works, so stick with me. You need to process firewood with this beast, no problem. It's just so heavy. The A2 tool steel is just so tough. And it's always good to use caution with these big knives, so when you're chopping something big like this, try to stay low, because this knife is very dangerous. You'll lob a finger or toe off really easy with this, but if you miss down low like this, it just goes into the ground. Now, if I remember correctly, the Senegal is the biggest knife that Bark River makes, or one of the biggest, if I remember. I have a Parang, I have a Gallic. This one's bigger, for sure, and heavier. I'm not even putting any force in it, I'm just dropping the blade. One of the things I love so much about this knife is when you look at the handle, it's very wide at the end. And there's a reason Mike did that when he designed it. It's because when you need to choke up on it, right here, and do fine carving, which you'd probably use about that much of the knife for, it's narrowed out so you can get a really nice grip on it. But at the end, it's really widened out, and it's widened out so when you grab it and get a firm grip, when you swing it hard, the inertia of it pulls it forward and it wants to come out of your hand, and that wedge locks it right in place at the end of the handle. So when you're doing work like this, and you need to clear some stuff for firewood, you just get a good grip on it. And you get down to the wood you need it, so stick with me and I'll show you a little feather sticking on here and show you some fine work. Alright, I found another piece of wood. Now I gotta process this down quick for a baton. Because I'm only batoning a small piece of wood here for feather sticks. Any knife I have, I personally, no matter what size it is, I like it to at least make feather sticks and strike a ferro rod. So, get to the wood on the inside there. And you really got to learn how to use a big knife like this. It's more like a plane. You definitely see the shavings it's taken off. So you can definitely see you get what you need to start a fire there. Bugs are ridiculous today. Right by the river. Yeah, no problem. I don't have no fatwood shavings or nothing here. But as you can clearly see, actually I have fatwood on me. So let's process some fatwood down. I always keep some in my survival kit. Very good quality fatwood, and I keep it sealed because it dries out. It petrifies like on the outside. So what I could do, take the blade, get some tiny scrapings and shavings. You don't need much. It's probably enough. Just get it together. Might not direct it perfectly like a small knife, but as you can see, I got it going. I didn't really spend much time with it. That was really quick, but you can see Get it going right up. Well, anyway, I got a fire going. That was my intention. So it clearly works good for that. Good with the feather sticking. I got a fire going with some fat wood and a ferro rod. I processed some big firewood down. And do a little wood carving now. Maybe make my baton a little more cleaned up. You just chop the hell with it. Make a tent stake. All you gotta do is put a lob in it there. It's so big you just give it one of them. You make a gale force wind tent stake. You hammer that thing into the ground, it'll probably hold up to a gale force 5 hurricane. There we go. Get it going deeper. And you got a nice tent stake. This performs pretty much exactly like the Dakar does. It is the Dakar. The Dakar is the small version of this. This is just bigger. It has more weight. That convex edge is a dream. I would say the only thing with a knife this big is use it a lot, because it fatigues you quick and you want to be used to using something like this because it's so heavy. Alright, I got a small piece of wood here I just want to process for firewood really quick. Show you how deep that one chop is. It's over 1 inch deep. See that? It's just so big and so heavy. I mean, I'm not even trying. I'm putting very little force, as you can see how slow I'm going. I throw a knot with no force. It's just so heavy. When you drop it, it bites even through the wood. You gotta use something like this very cautiously. It could be one of the best tools you ever used in the woods for just about everything. It does the small stuff quite fine too. The only thing is, when you're doing small stuff with a knife this big and heavy, it fatigues your hand a little. but it still does it. It shouldn't say anything in regards to the performance of the knife. The knife performs outstandingly. It's your hand that gets fatigued. But a knife this big and this heavy, if you had no other options and you get lost out in the woods or something like that, or if you're going on a long trip and only want to pack one thing for chopping and processing big stuff down, I would take this knife for sure. Or maybe a smaller knife like the LT Wright HC Bushcrafter, and you're pretty much good to go. The Senegal pretty much chop and process anything down you need chopped down, as far as trees go, firewood, hardwoods. It pretty much does it all. It's only been a phenomenon, like probably within the last 30 years, that people are using their knives to chop. They were never used for that before, and since so many people started using knives for chopping, the industry's kind of readjusted itself, and now they're making knives like this geared towards chopping. Even though machetes and stuff have been around for a long time, they were also mainly used for clearing brush. But this thing chops like a champion. I have a Grandsfors Bruck small forest axe, and for the wood around here in this area, this knife, I must say, chops just as good, if not maybe better. It really does. As you can see how deep that went. Completely clean. It's like smooth, like it was sanded with sandpaper. But that chop, it's an inch deep, and I didn't even put any force on it. They have that signature Scandi Convex or Convex, and that gives you 300 to 400% more edge retention at the very edge without it chipping or curling. Simply a matter of mathematics and science, because the way convex edges are ground, it's round and it leaves the most amount of material all the way to the edge. So that's what also gives it that great ability for batoning and chopping, because it's like a wedge. It's a razor wedge, pretty much. And it has that beautiful A2 tool steel that holds an edge really well. I've never had an issue with this. I live in a very humid area. I've never had an issue with the humidity causing corrosion. I live right by a river. I'm constantly getting it wet. It's recommended that you keep them oiled, but every time I come in from the field, I maintain my knives. I clean them really well. I dry them off and I put them back in the sheath, and never have an issue with it. I very, very seldomly sharpen these convex edges. First of all, they're extremely tough to sharpen, but you have no reason to with steel like A2 and LMAX 3V, because it just literally holds an edge forever. All you gotta do is get a piece of leather and some rubbing compound and strap it once or twice on each side, and the edge is like brand new. But there are very, very few Bark River knives I've ever had to sharpen, and that was because I think I took the Bravo 2 and stupidly was chopping something and hit a rock, and I chipped the tip a little bit, so I just had to resharpen it because of that. But other than that, I've never had to sharpen Bark River knives. The steel Mike uses is just excellent. The handle material is excellent. There's just so much science put behind all of it. The edge, the grind he wants to use, the steel he chose to use for all of his knives, it's all very carefully chosen. So you get maximum efficiency out in the field, and no corrosion. And it's starting to rain right now, so I hope you enjoyed my video. I'm Mike with Omega Survival. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching.